What is up, Mavs fans and hoop heads? Hope your vibes are immaculate today. I'm AG, your host, owner, CEO, director, manager, and all that. Welcome on into another episode of Mavs Rundown. Appreciate you all for listening. And I'm joined today by my special guest, no other than the Christian Torres and Lakers Chris. What up, guys? What's going on?
What's good, yo?
What up?
What's going on, fellas? And they join me on this special episode today. As we all know, if you haven't been living under a rock, the Mavs have been eliminated from the playoffs. Made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals at that. So pretty awesome. And today, man, we're gonna get into like the season review and just give our pointers on what we think. We're not getting too detailed into the whole free agency and stuff. Still kind of a little bit of ways away. It's exciting. But we're gonna go ahead and get our initial, first thoughts right after the pod. What we think, this team needs moving forward to be still, maintain, being successful and eventually, be a championship contender. Because as we know, after this season, I mean, Mavs are basically looked at as like they gotta be contenders now. The next, from now on, be at least, deep playoff runs and stuff. So, the bar is set now. We're no longer the up and coming team. We are there. So we'll go ahead and dive into it, man. The Mavs, great season. Man, what was it? January 1st, this team was, I think it was 2 games under 500. They ended up finishing the season 52-30, with the 4th seed. Going, past the first round. Everybody doubted us. We played the Jazz first round. Everybody doubted, didn't think we were going to win. We ended up beating them in 6 games, whooping them. And then we go on and play Phoenix Suns. I don't know if y'all heard, we played Phoenix Suns in the second round. And that was a 7-game series. And I don't know if y'all heard about what happened at the end of that. But the Mavs blew them out and detonated on those guys. And so it's been an amazing ride, an amazing season. And the growth really of all these players is awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and let you pass it off because I've kind of said my thoughts on it. And just want to get y'all's guys' thoughts. So, Christian Christian, let's go ahead and start. Christian, what are your thoughts on this
Yeah,
team?
man.
Season on the of the the team, the Mavericks.
You know what? I'm really proud of this team, man. Like you said, we had a slow start, and they
Very.
really picked it up. Yeah, they really picked it up towards the end of the year. And man, seeing them in the playoffs it
Shout
was
out
crazy,
Jason Kidd.
man.
Shout out Jason
Yeah,
Kidd. I didn't say that. Just shout out Jason Kidd, man. He did really good.
absolutely, man. He did a great job. He did really good adjusting, specifically during the playoffs. We don't. I'm not sure if we talked about this after the Suns series in the playoffs, but my man's beat. He outcoached the coach of the year in that
Yeah,
series. It's
that is
fantastic.
true.
That's great.
That was very
And
underrated. His
yeah,
adjustments in the playoffs. That was actually crucial. Like, I mean, there wasn't too many adjustments we could really make, but I mean, the ones we could make, he did. I mean, he pulled the right strings and I feel like he got the most out of this squad. So definitely great point. Great point.
yeah, yeah,
Was there
yeah.
was there a certain player that stuck out for you?
This year.
Yeah, this year for you personally.
I just think watching Brunson take over a lot of these
Hmm.
games, especially when Luka was out.
Yeah,
I think that's huge, and I mean, Mans wants to get paid. Like
dude,
that's perfect
dude.
timing for that to happen. So
Yeah, dude, and that's a great point. I'm glad you brought him up because his stats are crazy. He averaged like 12 last year, guys. He averaged 12 points last year, right? This
hmm
year bumps it up to 16. Then in the postseason, this man averaging 21 points per game. Like, this man is like definitely stepping up, making the moves in the right direction. Man, that's crazy. 21 points per game this postseason. After he got played out of the playoffs last year in the postseason, I guess the Clippers, got played off the floor.
yeah,
Which, I mean, some of it was his fault, but really, I mean, you could have probably blamed that on Carlisle, kind of kicking him off. But yeah, that's a great point. Lakers, Chris, what about you, man? Oh man, he got
Oh,
it. I was like wondering. I was like, he quiet. Hold on, let me
yeah.
get him back in this bad boy.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Um,
But yeah, was anyone else while we're getting him on Christian? Anyone else? I feel
yeah.
like Reggie Bullock gets enough.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we signed him. Everyone's like, I mean, yeah, we got another. He's a 40% shooter. That's dope. But like, what at the beginning of the year, he wasn't really doing. He was having a terrible couple months, shooting wise, like shooting just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to bring it on uh, there towards the end. Here, let me see if
Yeah,
I can.
I think I'll say this, and while you try to do what you
Yeah,
got to do
yeah.
to
Go
get
ahead.
Chris
Keep
back
going.
on
Keep
here,
going.
I remember when we traded um when we traded KP, which I'm sure we'll probably get into that at some point. Uh, I remember talking to you about like who
Yeah,
were
the
the
whole
guys that we
review.
got.
Go ahead and get into it now.
Yeah, I remember talking to you, texting like what happened. Like I know we traded. He's supposed to be our second star, and it obviously didn't really work out the way we wanted it to. But the guys we got back when I first heard about it, I believe that was Dinwiddie and Bertans.
Yeah.
And I remember texting you like, who are these guys? I had never heard of them, and Dinwiddie ultimately, he showed out. He did his thing. He balled out in a lot of those games. You know, during the season, he was probably, getting his legs under him, making sure, getting part of the team. Um, finding his groove in the team. But he hit his shots. He kind of found his stride there, and then Bertans, man, I remember specifically in the playoffs just watching him. He didn't get a ton of minutes, but he almost like he brought a certain energy, to the playoffs. I remember texting you a couple times, like he don't give a fuck, like Bertans don't give a
Hey, he
fuck.
made it back. We got him
Hell
Sorry
yeah,
back.
about that. Sorry
We
about
hell
got
that.
him
yeah.
back. You're good. You're good. He's right now. We're gonna keep you going, Christian. But right now, Christian's just bringing up. He had brought up Jalen Brunson. I don't know if did you hear the stat that I said on Jalen Brunson.
No, I did not. What'd you say?
Okay, okay. Well, he had brought up first his point. I was like, "Is there a player that you picked out that you would like?" And he said Jalen Brunson, and I said, "Oh yeah, and that's a great. I'm glad you brought him up because his stat is crazy. He averaged 12 points last year. This season, he averaged 16, and then in the postseason, he averaged 21 points.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
46
Wow,
shooting, 34%, basically 35% from three. Like
wow,
really good numbers. So he's really just taking his game to another level. And then I had mentioned also like Reggie Bullock made strides this year because at the beginning everyone thought that was a
for
good little
sure.
sneaky signing. And then after the first 2 months where he was really not, he couldn't hit anything. He couldn't buy a bucket. Like he could
Right.
not make a shot at all. And guys were kind of everyone was questioning that signing, but he really turned things around too and was able to come out shooting and then show his defense that we've seen from the Knicks in his past and stuff like that. And now Christian is on catching you up. Now Christian is talking about the Porzingis trade and how big and crucial that the turning point and that was for the Mavericks.
Right.
And now you're and he was mentioning Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that was
That's
a. I was really surprised on how good he did, but I'll get to that when I get on
right,
my.
right. And anything you want to add on to that?
So let me give you guys my perspective and what I saw from
Oh
the
wait,
Mavs
wait,
this
wait,
year.
hold on, Christian. Do you have final thoughts? My bad, my bad.
My bad, my bad.
No, I was just finishing up with the energy Bertans brought. He didn't get a ton of minutes in the playoffs, but
True,
Yeah,
true.
I
got
remember
the
always
Latvian
texting
laser.
you. Yeah, like I remember texting you several times during the playoffs. Like he don't give a fuck. Like he was out there, really being a tough presence in the team. There
Yep.
was a play that he got I don't remember who it was, but he got up and there was a player that was standing over him. He tried to step over him, and Bertans just stood straight up, like knocked him on his ass, and it's like
Yeah.
got into a little scuffle, and I was like, "Yo, that's the kind of shit like don't step over me, kind of thing." He was
Yep.
bringing a certain presence to the team that I really appreciated. Um,
That was
but yeah,
Damien. That was Damien. Somebody on the right. Damien. I forget his name now. on the
Yeah,
Warriors.
yeah. It was on the Warriors. I don't remember who it
No,
was,
who
but
was
it
it though?
was.
Austin, you don't remember who that was that stepped
He
over
got
him, kind
into
of?
it with. I'm trying to think. That's what I was trying to think in my head. That had to be.
Damian something. I thought it was like Damian something
Was it
or
Damian? I know it's Damian Lee, but I thought it was. I didn't think it was Damian Lee. I thought it was.
wasn't
It might have
Draymond.
been Damian
It
Lee.
was Damian Lee. It was either Damian Lee or like Toscana, but I didn't even see him
No,
play.
I
So
thought that or
yeah,
Poole or something. But yeah, I can
or
see
Poole.
that.
It
You
was
know
either
what?
Poole or Lee. Yeah, Poole or
Yeah,
Lee. One of
Poole
the
or
two. Yeah,
Lee, one of those. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I love it. I love that too. He was.
yeah, for sure.
He definitely brought it.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
it was Damian Lee. I'm looking at it
Damian.
right now. It was
Yeah,
Damian
Okay,
Lee.
yeah,
good.
and he was
Okay,
good.
Yeah.
it is. I was like, I thought maybe it was to do with the Dreads. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, Bertans don't give a fuck. I
Yeah.
like that. He don't back down. He
yeah.
ain't scared. Yeah, great stuff. All right, now Chris, what do you got for us? What did you see from this team?
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to say that this team overachieved and did a lot better than I thought they were. I don't think too many
Oh
people
yeah,
said
that's every Maverick fan. Every
that they
Maverick
were gonna
Mhm.
gonna make the Western Conference Finals. I think they surprised a little bit of people, including myself. I will say that a surprise for me was Dinwiddie. Going back to what Christian was saying, man, like I did not think his fit was going to fit because he's not really a knockdown shooter. But man, he shot really good from three the first couple rounds of the playoffs,
Yeah,
especially the
yeah.
second and third round. He shot well, man, and I think with a little bit more time and chemistry with the team, he's going to do really well for them. If they keep him, his contract isn't crazy, and it's going to be expiring here in a couple years, so it's not like it's a long contract. So I
But a
like
lot of
that
people
ad.
do know he's coming off that ACL, and
Yeah, but
people
he
coming
played
off
well.
ACLs are always better that second year back. So this is his
Yeah,
first year, so he's starting to look into
right.
form in playoffs. So I guess that's definitely good signs moving forward.
Then going on Brunson, I like him. I would like the Mavs to retain him, but unfortunately, I don't know if they can. We'll see. I know Cuban said that he's willing to spend the money, and I hope they do. So if they're able to keep him, but I do think, like I've been saying, AG, since the first time you had me on, Luka needs help, and
Yep.
it looks like Brunson is more of like your third option, and then
Mhm.
Dinwiddie can be off the bench as your fourth option, your best fourth, your fourth best player, in my opinion, either starting or off the bench,
Mm-hmm.
most likely off the bench. So that leaves now that they need to get somebody behind Luka. If they can get a solid number
Right.
two,
Well,
I
here.
think
I don't want to get too wet because we're gonna get into what they need. They
okay,
need in a minute. In a minute. In a
yeah,
minute. I know. It's
and
so hard not to
no,
talk
I
about
know,
what the
but
glaring needs
I
of
was
this team.
impressed. I was impressed with the team. I think they overachieved, and I think with the chemistry now, I think the guys know their roles. Finney Smith and Bullock are going to be those, hit 3-and-D guys. They're going to shoot the three, and they're going to play a lot of good defense. Bertans looks like he's going to accept his role. Kleber accepts his role. Kleber just needs to learn how to shoot, man. I mean, he was missing
Well, he
everything,
just
but
gotta stay consistent. He can shoot in stretches, but then
yeah,
whenever
exactly.
he loses confidence, it's like
I think that's what it is with
he
him.
complete. It's like he forgets how to play basketball whenever he loses
Yeah.
confidence.
But I'm impressed with Kid, man, and Dudley, and the whole staff. And I think
Right.
that
Shout
they
out
got
the whole coaching
looking.
staff.
The Mavs look like a legitimate team. They look like they're going to be around for a while. And it has been a while since we've said that in the league, and it's good when Dallas is good. So I think that they're a viable team to look forward to watching for the next couple, 5 to 10 years with Luca
Right.
there at the helm.
Look at there. Oh yeah, for sure. And to that point, like of just growth and everything that we're the points that we're going on. Remember last year, Jalen Brunson and Maxey had a shitty playoff performances against the Clippers, where they just were not. Jalen obviously got played off the floor, and then Maxey just was the super hesitant Maxey the whole series. I feel like both those guys actually stepped up this year in the play. Obviously, Dodo too, Dorian Finney-Smith, but
Yeah.
in
Oh,
particular,
hell
Max
yeah.
and Jalen, because Jalen obviously got played off, and he was basically our second, leading scorer on the team this year. And Maxey had obviously the big games, especially in the Jazz series, where he's just knocking down shots all over the place. Really, those first two series that I think he was hitting down. He had a couple of games where he'd waver, but for the most part, man, he was hitting shots, came out on fire.
Right.
And really, I think that's again just building block steps of the future. What you need, you got to have these guys all of a sudden start performing in the playoffs, and then all right, now we got used to it, and then it's like all right, now we've made a couple, made it past 2 series. We made like a little run. We know how to win multiple series in a playoff, and all that type of experience. I think is really going to help all these Mavs moving forward. And now moving forward to I mean, that's basically it. Anything else y'all can think of before I move forward? About to move forward. Any final thoughts on this season before we put it to rest? Uh,
Oh,
everybody.
I'll say one more thing. The series should have been 4-2. That's what it was. They should have won game two. It was in their hand. That was
Okay.
completely,
Oh yeah, I guess the Warriors. Yeah,
completely lost that game. The Mavericks next year would not lose that game because they'll have the experience and the time of playing with each other. But it was a new group and they were still learning off the flip. So I will say the final thing for me will say is it should have been 6 games and they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have lost in 5.
yeah. I think it was a very
Yeah.
respectable loss to them because as if people that actually watched the game, we should have had. There was 2 games where we really should have won, and so if we win those 2 games, the series looks very different. We're probably still playing right now, but
Right, right.
it is what it is. I still feel like J Kidd and the crew and everyone, they got the most juice out of this roster that they could this year. Squeezing the most out of Bertans, getting him those buckets off the bench. Being crucial. Spencer Dinwiddie, getting him going, making him feel acclimated, like y'all were pointing out. Yeah, he played well, and I think he's even going to play well moving forward next year. Whether that's with the Mavs or not, but I just feel like he's going to play well moving forward. So him playing well in the playoffs is better for the Mavs either way because that's better for his trade value. Or moving forward, just keeping him, that's good just to see him, playing better. So, and everyone else, Josh Green got more run this year. Of course, didn't get much show in the playoffs. He's got to build off that, but I think you saw some good things of Josh Green this year. Wish you saw Tim Hardaway, but who knows if he's going to be there. I'm trying to look at the roster. Anybody else? Frank Ntilikina, I think he was big in the playoffs for us. If you can just get better, consistent offensively, I think he can actually be a role player, a consistent role player because his defense is
Defense,
pretty
yeah.
well. That 7'1" or 7 foot wingspan he's got really bothers a lot of
Wings.
guards, a lot of wing
Yeah,
guards,
yeah.
or the guards
I
and
think you
wings.
guys. I think the defense with him and Finney Smith and who am I missing? Bullock. I think those three can be really
That'd
good,
be like a really
pesky
good
defenders.
defensive crew right
Yeah,
there.
that
Yeah,
exactly that can just like for the wings because we know the NBA is a league of wings.
but
They can
versatile
really help.
players.
Yeah, they can really help. Take a lot of that responsibility of defense from Luka and other star players because now you have role players that fill that exact role. So
Exactly. And moving on, that's a great point, a great segue into what this team needs. And the quote from that is out moving around is, I think it's from Nico or Mark Cuban that we want to get J Kidd style players. And those are players, essentially what the quote was saying and stuff is, what they want two-way players. They want guys that can play offense, but also that play defense too. That can fit their not really fit their system, but just do what they play defense and also not be a hindrance on offense, and vice versa. So those are what the things said moving forward. And as we know, I'll just go ahead with the rumors. Actually, I'm gonna start with what the main things the Mavs need. What is put out there is, do we need to go after a for sure second star next to Luka? Do the Mavs need to go after a big man? And what caliber big man that could be debated too. Or do we need to just go ahead and add more scoring wings and depth for this whole roster? Or to me, I feel like it's also kind of a little mix of all three of these things. And also, those are the three main things going around of what we need. And then the rumor has it that the Mavs are interested in Zach LaVine, and of
that would
course
be
that
nice
would mean a sign and trade more than likely with Jalen Brunson.
for sure.
That gets complicated. Does Jalen even want to go there? Would he accept it? Would he just say, what, screw all y'all, I'm gonna go to like New York or whoever else can sign him? And then that same report also said Rudy Gobert was highly unlikely, which I think is good. But if I'm gonna go ahead and give mine real quick, because I already have my thoughts already on this, I think this is a mix of all three guys. I think the Zach LaVine thing is true. I think if we're gonna go after that, then yeah, we would have to sign. I'm all for that signing Jalen Brunson. Flipping him, probably have to give either a pick or somebody else or something to get Zach LaVine, probably a pick or two or whatever, and get Zach LaVine. I like that flip. I'd do it. And then for the big man's sake, we definitely need a big man, but I think we don't need to go after an expensive big man like Rudy Gobert or DeAndre Ayton. I think we could go with the cheaper guys like go get a Mo Bamba, or in my case, I really want us to get Miles Turner. Even though his injury stuff, I feel like he could still maybe get in shape and play better.
He's still
Yeah.
real young, so
Exactly. He's
that
still
would be
young.
good.
I think Miles Turner would be a great fit. Only like I forgot, like 16 million or something like that. So like a reasonable range we can get him. Maybe flip like Tim Hardaway, and I don't know. We have to give like a Maxey or Dwight or something, hopefully, and get him. And then obviously somehow around the edges, you're gonna have to add a little bit depth to this team. I don't really know exactly. I don't have any names yet, but I think obviously showing throughout the playoffs that we were gassed against that in that Warriors series. So having another like one or two pieces to this added to this team, I think will help everybody play a little bit better, because everybody's so tired out having to play guys like over 40 minutes a game. Like gosh, like damn, like I'm sure take a long trip after this long vacation. But yeah, man. So that's what I think. I think if we could somehow swingle this offseason and the Mavs pick up a Zach LaVine and get Miles Turner without having to give up many of our major pieces, without having to give up basically like Reggie and Dodo, and maybe like Spencer too, or Jalen, or either one of those, like keeping one of those guys, I think that's a great offseason, and I would like this team's chances moving forward. So what do you have? Let's go, Christian. What do you think?
Man, I don't know. I guess I think watching the games, you see a big lack of defense in the middle. Like we need a big guy, right?
Yeah,
Like
rim protection.
so yeah, a good rim protector. I feel like Maxey was probably, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Maxey
No,
was better
he's
on
definitely not like
defense?
starter caliber. I think Maxey has proven like he's perfect off the bench for us to come in to fill in those 4 or 5 minutes, but definitely not starter caliber. Or if he does start, he has to be at the 4, not the 5. And we can't play him. Obviously, he's getting older now. People forget he's like, what is he? He's 30 now, so he'll be 31 next year. So he can't play over like 30 minutes a game, every game. So we kind of need to lessen minutes. So that goes to the point where, still needing another big man to help, bunk down some minutes for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
We
But
definitely.
I was gonna ask, like, who do you who do you I guess prefer in the middle as your big guy between him and Dwight Powell?
Oh yeah, for sure, Max. Like
Okay.
Dwight tries and he's a good rim roller, but Maxie is like that great defender. He could play defense on guys on the inside, but also plays. He's a very underrated perimeter defender and can guard like guys out. He
Yeah,
was guard Chris
for sure.
Paul, Devin Booker, guys like that. Where Dwight Powell isn't doing those type of things. So I definitely Maxie is definitely more valuable in that sense, and Maxie makes more blocks than Dwight anyway. So yeah, definitely would want to keep Maxie at all costs and try to get Dwight out of there first.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you think, Lakers Chris? What about you? What do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna be realistic because that's how I am. I don't like to, I would love them to get Aiden. I think that would be the number one goal. I think that's the number one free agent they should go after. And the reason why I say that is because he's a big man that plays defense good enough. I don't think we got to see his capability because Bridges is such a good defender. Chris Paul is a good defender. They had guys like the dude that was on the Heat. I can't think of his name now. The 3-and-D guy. Who was their 3-and-D guy? Also,
Mikal Bridges.
no, not Bridges. I said Bridges. The other guy that they had, the veteran
Crowder.
Crowder. So I think the defense was so good around Aiden that we didn't see a lot of necessity for him to defend as well because he didn't have to really play as much defense in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think they should go after Aiden. I think he's a guy that would be perfect as the number 2 behind Luca. Realistically, from what they had out there, I mean Levine would be nice too. But I'm gonna be realistic and say, why don't they put their money towards like a Levine or somebody like that, or re-signing Brunson, and go get a center that's gonna play his role, a veteran that's won championships, somebody that I think they can get for $4 or $5 million a year, maybe a 2-year, $10 million deal. And that would be JaVale McGee. I think, he's
Mm,
won numerous titles on different
yeah.
teams. He can still be a viable 25 to 30 minutes because if you watch this guy, I follow him on
Yeah.
Instagram.
I
He
like
play
that.
he literally works out after the games. Like this guy's in tip top shape. I didn't think he was going to be in the league this long. Neither did Dwight Howard. But I mean, JaVale came in the league 3 or 4 years after Dwight, so he still has another
Yeah.
year of playing at how the level he did play at. Him or even the other guy from from that same Suns team, Biombo. I think he could play the role of the big
I
on the
think that
Mavs.
speaks to what Nico said too. I forgot to give this quote too. Like Nico was talking about how they want to play versatile. They don't want to stick to. Yeah, obviously this team was a very live by the three, die by the three team. But he mentions, and again, I like this because it's like being self aware. He knows that he's like the great teams are versatile. They don't play just one style. They're versatile. They're able to play multiple ways. If a team wants to go big, whoever we're playing wants to go big, then we want to make sure we have the pieces we can go big. If
Exactly.
the other team wants to go small, then we want to have the pieces where okay, we can run small with you too. And I think
Yep.
that's a great thing, and that's awesome to hear too by the GM, by that he's aware of that, and that's honestly that's so true because you don't want to stick to we have to put all our eggs in one basket where
I'm
we got to
telling you.
we want to be able to
That's
be versatile.
and you got to be realistic too, man. You can't have everybody. Dallas has never been known for being the free agent hub. So I mean, you also have to be realistic. And the
Yeah,
thing is if you strike out right away, like on a JaVale McGee, let's say for example, and then he signs to who knows, let's say the Clippers for a 2-year, $9 million deal. You're like, wow, we could have had JaVale McGee for $4.5 million a year, and he's a legit center that can at least give you 25, 27 minutes a game. And
yeah,
then you have your backup 5 like, Powell or Maxi Kleber. Kleber can come in and fill that role for those 17 other minutes,
yeah.
So
I think
I,
that's a no. I think you're making a great point because I don't think the Mavs do need to go after a big name, big man. Which
no,
I
man.
don't. I like money wise, like Rudy Gobert and like DeAndre Ayton, like you're saying,
Turner,
that would be
Aiden, yeah.
no, like Rudy Gobert and Ayton would be like that's big money right there.
Yeah,
That
they're
would
gonna
be
get
kind of
20.
hard
They're
for
gonna get
them.
25 million a year
There,
easily.
well, Rudy's already at like 40, so he's there, and Aiden's about to get he's about to get the max or get offered the max, so he's gonna want something close to that. So he would be big money, and then like the trade assets like that, moving the pieces would be a little bit. I would say, that would be somewhat difficult.
What do you guys
Arrange
think
around.
about like signing for like a veterans minimum too, like
Yeah, but
as a second
yeah, that's
plan?
what I'm saying. I think it's better for the Mavericks to take the cheaper route. Which if you look at the teams that are going to be in the finals this year, they're all taking they all got
Serge
cheaper
Ibaka
center
for
route.
3 million. Serge Ibaka for 3 million. I would do it.
Right,
You,
right.
you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm saying. Especially if we can swindle, I feel like Miles Turner is in that cheaper category, so that's why I would put him under, and that's why I would want him. Or like people are pointing out, like Mo Bamba, he's gonna be a cheap asset. And like you said, Javale McGee would be a good one, or even Serge Ibaka. Like there's cheap. I feel like there's better, cheaper options out there than going after one of these big guys and having to give away pieces to the roster or too many pieces to the roster. But yeah, that's a good point, guys. Yeah. Any other things about the team moving forward before?
Are you talking about free agent wise?
Yeah, free agents or what do you just want to see? Do you think the Mavs actually too? Question: do you think the Mavs should add to the because you see successful teams? But this to both of y'all. Successful teams use their late draft picks, to help build their roster and continue, greatness. Like, the great teams like the Spurs, the Warriors. Over
Yeah.
time, they use their draft picks to, help continue building their team. So, should the Mavs continue that trend and try to use I think they have the 25th or the 26th pick this year, or do you think maybe that should probably be traded? I know it's kind of early. I don't know, but I just want to get initial thoughts. Would you be looking to trade this pick to try and get somewhere better, or do you think trying to go after a young asset in this and try to build? Hopefully, you hit and get another like cheaper role piece that you can add.
I would say, I mean, I'm not huge on the NBA draft. I'm a big NFL draft guy, and in
Right.
that sense, I'll always say, build through the draft. That's how you keep a consistently good team. NBA, I feel like is a different monster though, because people
Right.
flip those picks for good
Also,
trades and shit. So, if you see, I feel like, I mean, the Mavericks have had bad luck,
I like the draft.
basically waiting, for like a superstar trade, because I feel like those superstars use us as like leverage, and then they find a
Yeah,
better deal, somewhere else. So
that's
it's tough.
bro.
I feel like,
Yeah, I feel like unless you have to throw in the pick like for a Levine, if it takes giving them that 25th pick or 26th pick, whatever, then it's like all right, I'll give it up. Type.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. Like, it just depends on the price. If it's Jalen Brunson and a first round pick, for Levine, and you can sign Levine to a 4-year, $80 million deal, something that Brunson was probably gonna get,
Yeah,
I would do it. But now, if you're talking about, I think they have the flexibility to be able to kind of pick and choose, because they may see something they like and they may hold on to a pick. And sometimes those picks hit and sometimes they miss. So it's kind of
yeah.
like something where you just got to go with it. Look at the Maxi kid from Philly. He ended up being a really big piece for them, maybe possibly their
Desmond
second
Bain
best player.
Mavericks missed on Desmond
Desmond
Bain and
Bain,
Sadiq
the
Bey.
local kid,
Oh yeah, the
TCU.
Mavs
Like you
draft
know.
history is not good.
TCU, pretty, local kid. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have your hits
Honestly,
and misses.
the reason the more you're talking right now is the more I'm hoping they trade it away before we draft, because I'm like, I don't know, I'm like revisiting all the history in my head. I'm like, we
yeah,
haven't been making good decisions in
yeah,
the draft. I'm hoping maybe we can use that pick for leverage for like a Levine or something before the draft hits. Because man,
yeah,
like it's like like you said, it is hit or miss. The guys like good teams that scout like the Warriors, they hit when they got Jordan Poole with like the 25th, 26th pick. Now look at him; he's their third Splash brother and shit. So it's
Man,
like it
that's
very
crazy.
you
is.
That's
mean
crazy to
second?
me.
You mean second? Because he's the second best Splash Brother right now.
No, over Clay,
Sheesh.
I'm
over
saying right.
Clay.
I'm saying right now he's more important than Clay is. Clay is now their third best player, bro.
I don't know. Clay's defense is better than Jordan Poole.
Yeah,
Jordan Poole
that's
gets
what I was gonna
attacked
say.
so
His
much
defense.
defensively. I think when it comes out to defense, then all of a sudden Clay gets back to his number 2 spot.
Man,
Yeah,
fuck the Warriors.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
that's how I'm feeling right now, bro.
Yeah, fuck that shit. We're over that. We're not talking about that right now. But I definitely
um,
want to have a finals podcast talk about them. So eventually I'm going to have to talk about the Warriors. But hey, hopefully the Mavs end up losing. If the Warriors going to win a championship, then hey, at least the Mavs can say, hey, we lost to the champs. But
right.
yeah, man, that's great stuff. So I appreciate having y'all on. This is great stuff. I feel like all Mavs fans, getting from both of y'all, I feel like we're all in agreement of what kind of the basis of what the Mavs should go after. And from what I'm hearing, it's all sounding good so far. So it's a new regime. It's actually time to be excited for a Mavs fan. Normally before these off seasons, it's always kind of like, oh well, here we go again, hearing about this and that, and nothing ever happens. But this is a new regime. It seems like Mark Cuban is kind of taking, so far, it kind of seemed like he's taking a little bit of a step back, and because a lot of these guys in the NBA are mentioning guys like Finley and Nico and kind of like our front office guys, but not Mark, in a sense. So I think I'm
Yeah.
not, I feel like those are just good things. And it's like, these more positive vibes are coming out, and it should be a very exciting off season. I appreciate having y'all on today. Any final thoughts before we head on out, guys? Well, one of you, if y'all have any final thoughts? No, nobody.
Uh,
Good luck. Next year to the Mavs. I'm sure we're gonna see an improvement. I think, with a little bit more chemistry and time, this team can be legit, and when I say legit, I'm saying like finals caliber team.
Oh yeah.
Within time and them adding the pieces that they need to be add. I just advise the Mavs fans to be patient because this league can be good one year and not good the next year. So they got to stay humble, stay on the course, stay with the game plan, and this team will be a team to be reckoned with for the next, like I said, 7 to 10 years.
Oh yeah, Christian.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, man, that's just I'm excited for next year. Hopefully during this off season we get some interest, some people that want to play with Luca, and we don't end up getting used as leverage again. You
Yeah.
know, so
But hey, it's if there's any time to be optimistic, this is the year, man.
yeah,
It's new regime, everything. So exciting just to see. We're gonna see if we're all disappointed again or not. But hey, that's what's gonna keep it exciting. It's what's gonna keep us rolling on this Mavs podcast. And we're gonna get more stuff and more later on. So again, I appreciate having my boy Lakers Chris and Christian Torres on the post. Appreciate you guys. And
appreciate you having me.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you,
And,
brother.
the Mavs rundown is free on YouTube along with Spotify and Anchor app. If you want to follow on Twitter, it's at Mavs_rundown. And yo, I'm AG. Thank you all for listening from wherever you're listening from. And remember, cool heads prevail, guys. And I'll see y'all next time on the Mavs Rundown.
Peace.